Welcome to Terry's View. It's been like forever since I last did an interview or even did a video for this channel. But today I'm so excited because I'm going to be meeting an amazing human being, an amazing young woman who is creating a big change in her community through her initiative that she is passionate about. So allow me to introduce you to Waweru, who is the founder and executive director of Eneza Imani Community Shelter, which is located in Kikuyu, Ondire specifically. It's around the Ondire police post. So anytime you're around that area, please pop in and say hi to Marcy and the team and see what they're doing, and hopefully be part of the great work they're doing in changing the community. So hi Marcy, please tell us more about yourself and what inspired you to start Eneza Imani Community Shelter.
Hi, my name is Marcy Waweru, Waweru. I'm the founder of Eneza Imani. Eneza Imani is a rescue center and a safe space for women going through sexual gender-based violence, rape victims, and also adolescent young girls and teenage moms. So we rescue them at the center. So we get the women and the children, the women and the girls that we rescue, we get them from various places. So from the gender desk in Kikuyu, from our social workers, like we get phone calls. But before we rescue them, we have to actually vet who is genuine to come to our shelter. The program runs like this. The maximum time that someone can stay at the shelter is 6 months. So 6 months, that is the maximum. And within these 6 months, the women get empowerment. We get them counseling. They also get reintegrated to the society. We find people who can support women. There are women who go through abuse because they're not empowered economically and financially. So we find organizations that can help them come up with income generating activities that enable them to go back to the society and can support themselves. So for 6 months, a woman would leave this place feeling empowered, self-esteem restored. Her self-esteem is restored. She feels like she's whole again. Our aim goal is to have the women leave this place feeling whole. We also have these women for 3 months. That is the short term. So within 3 months, these are the women we get from other organizations. Like we can get an organization that needs to bring us a girl or a woman for 3 months, and then they'll pick them up. So there's also that. And then there's where we have, the reason we call it a safe center or a safe space as well, is because when at the gender desk, if a woman comes at night and she's been battered, instead of sleeping at the cell or the concrete at the police station, they are brought here at night. So they sleep here, and then in the morning, we have the police sort out the issues, and then if the women need to be rescued and to stay here more, they can stay. And then we also have cases where if a child has been defiled, this when I say children, I'm talking about 15, 16, 17, up to 18, who have been abused by, let's say, a relative, yes? So these ones, they can be brought here for safety. So this is not women within. So this is how the national shelters of Kenya work. So if someone is from Kiambu and they're being threatened, they can be hosted at a shelter in Kiambu. So that is why we do a cross-country kind of rescue. So that's what we do. And we have activities, we have income-generating activities within. So we're looking into doing poultry farming, which will enable us to be sustainable, pig farming. We also have women who do beadwork, and we also make soap. So the soap the women make, they sell the soap, and then that's how they get their daily, like for breakfast. The soap that we make is their breakfast. That's how they come up with their breakfast at the shelter. So we have those income generating activities, and every Saturday we have a feeding program. So the feeding program came about. So when I came up with the idea of Eneza Imani, my background is in healthcare, and I've worked in the HIV world ever since I left school. So I discovered that there was a huge gap There's a huge gap because all the patients that we had, the retention was horrible. They were not very suppressed. So I needed to find out. I found out why this is happening, because there's so much a donor can do and the hospital can do. Because the only thing we can do at the hospital is identify, enroll to care, and then continue counseling on adherence. But we find out that adherence to medication does not work well, because most of the people who used to come back at the clinic, they come back and say, mi siwezi kunywa dawa kwa sababu how am I going to take this medicine and I don't have food? How am I going to go take this medicine na sina sijakula for 2 days? So Eneza, when I came up with the idea of Eneza Imani, I thought I can help these women, because I have support group for people living with HIV. I can help these women, and overseas, this is orphan and vulnerable children. I can help them adhere to their medication if I can address that one issue of food. So the feeding program came about. So every Saturday, they come and feed, and then they go home with a packet of either rice, sugar, and beans. So for that week, it's not a lot, but for that week, I'm sure of these families who are on medication, they have food for the week, and then on Saturday they come back, and then this is the best support group, because when they come back on Saturday after 1 week, we discuss: have you taken your medication? What are the challenges that you are facing? And then we have identified the ones that are regulars. Yes, so we also have social workers or community health workers who do follow up. Like if a child misses a feeding program twice, we'll make a point of visiting that home and finding out why this child has not come. And then sadly, most of the children or most of the women who don't come, they're going through abuse. So Eneza Imani goes to an extent of following up and finding out why you're not coming. If it's abuse, we help make a report. We help mediate talks between the families and get these people that we have at Eneza Imani family get the help they need. Because the idea I had was to like make a difference, mostly to all the women, because we're all women and we all go through stuff. Even I go through stuff. But if you find a space where you can express yourself without being judged, without stigma, and not only expressing yourself, like you get to eat and you get to take some food to your child. I'm very sure mothers would understand or can relate to this. Just finding a meal for your child, even if it's not a lot, and you are sure that there's a place every Saturday you can bring your child and they can feed, that is something that really motivates me to continue doing this. We have a support group for 50 teen moms, that we have a support group twice a month at the shelter. So as well, as we're trying to end the triple threat, our goal in the future is to make sure that these girls go back to school. Whether they're teen moms or not, whether they're moms or not, like make sure they go to school. Have a daycare for them where they're not paying, and have someone who is on payroll to like take care of the kids as they go back to school. Empower them, like a whole family, not separate children. For as long as I've lived, man, I think this is something God put in me. I feel like everything that I do is ordained by God. Sometimes I feel like I'm doing this on autopilot, by the way. You know the way you know that you can do stuff, you're aware of the things you can do? Oh, mi naeza fanya makeup vizuri, you know those things. This one, when I'm doing it, it has nothing to do with me. And that seriously humbles me. It has nothing to do with me. Because I started doing this a long time, even before I registered this organization. I would walk somewhere and I'd see kids. Well, the idea came one day. I used to live in Kisumu, and that's where I went to school. So on Christmas, I grew up in a very good home. Like, Christmas was amazing. Yes, I was abused as a child, but this was physical abuse and stuff. But when I moved in with my grandparents, Christmas was amazing. Like, we could afford food and everything. So when I moved to the western side, Kisumu, and I could say children Christmas Day, want food. So from then, I would tell my friends, the ones who are in campus, I'll tell them, Christmas or in November, before everyone goes back, can we just collect donation and then we go handing out food to families around? And that continued. So that has always continued. Then I started working in a hospital. My first internship was at Lumumba Healthcare. And that was the first time for me to see like women, like a pregnant woman come in 8 months, ametandikwa, only because she used 2 shillings to buy water. And she wasn't supposed to use extra 2 shillings. So I thought, how can I help her? Because first and foremost, we cannot separate couples, right? So how can I help her? So I discovered if we empower this woman to make her own 2 shillings, there is no way she's going to touch these 2 shillings that made her get a beating. So we started doing table banking within the women who used to come at the clinic. So this time I was not into the HIV, it was the clinic, the ANC. So we started, the women that I would identify, we started doing table banking. And then with that, it grew and lives were being changed. Then I started doing this without having registered for the organization. Then when 2016, I registered the organization. When I moved back to Kiambu County, and I was fully now working in the HIV world, right? So I registered the organization. After talking and walking around and knowing how things are done, I thought if I registered it, it would be a stronger foundation to do more for the women and to have a collaboration with the county. Because Kiambu County, the people at Kiku Sub-County, the collaboration that I have with them is great. Because I'm sure the women get free, the medicine, the HIV program they are in, they get free medication, they get free training. If there's a training and support group that needs to be supported by the county, that is provided. So having registered the organization within the Kiambu Sub-County has really helped because there's so much collaboration. So to answer your question in the short version, why I started this is because having worked in a HIV clinic for so long, so we have patients we identify, we enroll, we link to care, and there's the formation of support group. There's only so much a hospital can do. There's only so much a hospital can do because they're not the only patient being catered for an organization as a hospital, right? So for me, they would come and they would find these women coming back for the clinic because we would give them medication for like a month. They'd come back. Some are very genuine. They'll come back with the same bottle of medicine. They've not touched, and these are the reasons. So there was intimate partner violence where one partner says atukunji dawa kwa nyumba. A man says sisi si wagonjwa tunaenda church. So there's a woman like that in the group. Mwenye anaambiwa atakunywa madawa kwa sababu God is going to heal us, we're not sick. Or wewe ni malaya wewe ndio umeleta ugonjwa, mimi si mgonjwa, because the men actually don't go for HIV testing. Even when the wife says I'm HIV positive, then they believe they're not. So there's also that risk of the men reinfecting the women. Yeah? So we would find women who are going through intimate partner violence, sexual abuse as well. And then we'd have women with children who come to the hospital, they've walked distance and they don't have food. So that to me, I would kusanya my friends, right? And then would come up with food stuff for them. But then again, I thought, and then most of them who are like being battered, it used to break my heart because I was like, I could not take them to my house. And I know mtu akirudi kwa nyumba atatandikwa tena. Even if we give her food, even if we cancel her, she's still gonna go to the same house and be beaten. And I discovered that we all need a space to run away. It is not like separating them from their husbands and their spouses. We all need a space to run away to. So I thought of if I had a space where these women can just come, their space, not my space, like a space where you're going through this. There's this place you can go. You don't need to pay anything. There's food, and there's peace and tranquility. So that is how the Eneza Imani came. I wanted to give them a space that we all need. Because this space, even for me, it's a space where I come to. It's a peaceful space that I come to also to like get that peace and connect. When I got this house, the home itself, I was looking for a home. I knew God had put this in me. I always tell people this testimony because I tell people we should testify because miracles happen every day. So there's something God put in me. So when I was looking for this house, actually, I prayed about it. And before I was looking for it because I was like, see, now I have money, I can look for it. But I found so many houses and none was resonating with what I'm doing. So I sat down and I told God, you've put this in me and you know where this house is, so show me the house. So when I got this house, it was a revelation from God because I was not even supposed to get the space that we have, but it was like an answered prayer from God. And then what we did, we prayed for this space. And I told God, I want when the women or the people who come here, I want them when they leave here, this is a song I want them to go out saying that God has done, He has done as well. Because we cannot heal all our problems. I can't heal all the people going through mental health and issues and stuff. But I tell them that God is the one who heals. I give you a space where you can connect with God as well. And let him guide you into your God-given purpose, because we all have purposes. As Eneza Imani, we've also, our technical working group, we had the support group for adolescents, young persons. Most of the issues I'm tackling are within that age group. So who is better to work with than the adolescent young persons? So I created a technical working group, which consists of 12 able, very, very hardworking adolescent young persons who we run the program with. When you're doing the feeding program, they come and they volunteer to do everything without being paid. They volunteer for meetings, they volunteer to go for field work and identify the families that we need to help. So I've been blessed to have people come in and work with me. It's not a funded organization, but God provides.
Okay. I've heard you talk about collaboration with different institutions for you since you started this work. So could you probably share with us some of those organizations that have played a key role in helping you to achieve some of the goals and objectives for Eneza Imani community?
The collaboration I have, first and foremost, most of the women that and most of the people that I help are enrolled to a HIV care program, right? So the hospitals within Kikuyu sub-county, we work very well, work together very well, because this is where the women are getting their medication. So if a woman has missed an appointment, they always reach out to us, notify us that so and so didn't show up. So we find a way of reaching out and finding out what's the issue. So having that collaboration with the hospitals within, that has helped, because we're not getting so many lost to follow up patients, yes, and also kids, the support group for them. There's no stigma anymore. There's no self-stigma. You get what I mean? There's no self-stigma, even for disclosure, because when you have an open conversation, even for disclosure is becoming very easy. When someone needs to disclose their status to maybe a spouse or maybe a support system at home, there's that part where we're working together with the hospitals and the organization. Also the county, the syndemic, it used to be NAC, Kenya. We have great support, because when they have trainings, they invite us, and we invite the adolescent young persons, we invite the adolescent young people. We also have collaboration with other organizations that reach out. The county part, when they have trainings, they call us, and then we work very well with the gender police in Kikuyu. They've been a very good support, the gender desk. The lady there called Agnes, we work very well, because she identified cases, and then when we have cases that need to be addressed, she will assist. There is nowhere that these women go there and they are stranded, or when you have even rape cases, there is nowhere, because we're trying to have our own polycare system at the Kikuyu police station in our own way. So like when you get donations for clothes, we always wash women clothes and fold them and take them at the gender desk. So why do we take them at the gender desk? If a woman comes there and they are raped, to have them still not feel dirty, they can change into those clothes, and then the clothes that they came in can be put into a rape kit. So that is how we have collaborated with the gender desk at the police station. And we also go through support from donors, other donors. We do sensitization to the police post around on how to handle a case of GBV, a case of sexual gender-based violence, a case of rape. So we do that, and they also know who to call or where to direct a victim who becomes a survivor. So that is one thing we do. We also have organizations that donate towards our causes, yes. So we have Dada Mwenzangu. So this is an organization that donates sanitary towels. Like if you want to go visit schools within, or when you're doing we're trying to stop end the triple threat, we have organizations like that come in, donate sanitary towels, and we go to schools and do program talks. We also have Hope Alive initiative that when you're doing feeding program, these are people who have donated towards our causes, donate towards the women, food stuff. So collaboration has been great with people. We get approached by people, by organizations who actually have the same goal to change the way the society is and to empower women and children within the society. Nyumba Kumi, was there for Nyumba Kumi. So those ones as well, because we're trying to stop the kangaroo court. So when you do sensitization to them, they are learning more of how to handle these cases, and also to like make sure that these women are protected and the children are protected. Because when you have a case of a father raping a child, and then the same wazes are uko not doing anything because they have this wazee kind of thing. So we're trying to, with the Nyumba Kumi, we're trying to change that in the society, doing sensitization. And we have a male champion who is, who you can say is my grandfather, but he's doing a very good job, Mr. Muinamia. He's really, and Pastor Mohende, they're really doing a good job. Because we do sensitization in the slums, where we have young men wanakunywa pombe za uko ndani. They also do distribution of condoms. So I can access condoms for them, and then I give them out so for them to reach the people within the community. So the community needs a lot of sensitization, but we are somewhere.
Just briefly, tell us about a key moment or a key highlight in your work that you think about and you're grateful that you started this noble work that you're doing.
Yeah, many, but my highlight, Mama Wambui. Oh, the woman I just told you about, we started a business for her. When I met that woman, let me tell you, I didn't even have a shelter then, but I never seen, she's a very petite woman, tiny, yes. And then she had 3 children. She had one at the back. She had 2, they were under 5, yeah. And her story was they had walked all the way from Kino to Zambezi. And it breaks me up now. And she had walked all the way from Kino. Now you can imagine, that breaks me all the time, man. It does, it actually really breaks me. Like they had these 2 kids. Wow. They'd walked all the way from Kino, and they had a knee time. And the roads were not even nice then. This breaks me all the time. I hate to do this, man. But anyways, so she had these 2 kids. Shit. And they didn't even use the main road. They had to use a fichochoro. And you can imagine a 2-year-old walking. I have a child. And I can't even allow her to walk. She's 5. I can't even allow her to walk from here to the top because I'm scared. And you have these kids under 5, man, walked all the way from Kino to come all the way to Zambezi to the hospital. And she had been beaten the previous night. And when she came, she was not supposed to be my case. She was coming from ANC, but someone at the facility said, send her to my office. And when she came, I was shocked. I was like, okay, the services I was offering, that is not what she's here for. But this woman cried for 2 hours straight, and I had to sit there, and I had to hold the other children, because I'm very passionate about children. And I could see the mom is crying. They are not crying. They are under 5, and they all need to be hugged and held. And the mom was crying. All I could do is just get the children out, find a social worker to play with them and bought them some snacks, and then I had to listen to the mom. The mom was going through a lot. She had been battered the previous night. She didn't have, and at that moment I didn't have a shelter. In that moment I was like, I want to take her home. I seriously thought the amount I have in the bank, I would take her to my house and ndamkombolea nyumba, and that's what I was thinking at that particular moment. Then that could not happen. But I prayed about it. That one I prayed about. I even went to my pastor and said, there's this woman we need to pray for. Because I can't, but God can help. So Wamboi, so when she was going back, of course, I didn't let her go back by foot. So we raised money and I got her home, and I actually bought her a few food items. But I knew she was going back to the man who had beaten her the previous night. So the following day, I decided to go back and find out, do a home visit and see actually, because I was like, I can't tell her to leave her husband right now. So so I did a home visit to Wamboi's house, and I found out that this family of 5 was living in a one room, a tiny room. And then within time, Wamboi opened up a business for her, and we enrolled her kids to daycare and school. The reason this is a highlight, the greatest highlight for me, is because Wamboi, the next month, they paid rent for the shop. The next month, Wamboi had already extended the business that we started for her. And up to now, Wamboi has been empowered. And her husband joined rehab. So we did not break up that family, but her husband, we encouraged her husband to see that we are supporting them, not Wambui. And from that, that also helped him to like take a look at himself and what he's doing. So that was a highlight. Another highlight for me is Betty. This is a story that this girl almost died so many times, but Mungu ni nani, when he's not done with you, you're not going anywhere. I met Betty in 2021. This girl has gone through abuse of all kinds. This girl has been abused in all manners. There was one time she was locked in a house. She only had a bucket, and she was pregnant, and she was not eating. We were looking for this girl for so long, and we couldn't find her. She's supposed to come to the clinic. She's nowhere to be found. The reason this is a highlight and it's a success story is the fact that we even got the cops involved, and we got her justice. The guy who was abusing her was arrested. Like, you know, the way these cases for GBV, nothing goes to court, nothing makes it. This one did, and it did in front of our eyes. Like, I always tell people this, it's not kujilipisha ni ya Mungu, yes, but for her to see that she's not alone, like, as in the police are not my brothers or sisters. This is the police, yes. So for them to like come through for her, the whole gender desk office in Kikuyu police station coming through for her, and now the support from the organization and the people at the hospital, that for me, for her to know that she's not alone and boosting her self-confidence, that for me is another highlight. And also a highlight I have is because every time I get a woman who's been abused and the kids are not going to school, sometimes it's overwhelming because I'm like, I want to do more, but I'm limited because I don't have funds. But to get to a point to walk to a school and plead my case as an organization and them to accept these children, that is also a highlight.
This is the second time actually for me to be here at Eneza Imani community, and I have seen how you interact with the young people that I have found in this center. I see the way you relate, and you know, it tells it all that they enjoy being around here. Tell us about some of these programs that you actually involve these young people in, and also highlight for us some of the programs that you have at the center as Eneza Imani community.
We actually have a meeting every Thursday, and that in itself, to have these young people, like 7 men and the rest are girls, to like show up every Thursday, to commit. They're not given any reimbursement of transport, there's nothing, to commit and come and address the issues that the young people are going through in society, and to come up with ideas on how we can impact other teens and other men in the society. For me, that in itself, like I said, it's only God who ordains such things, because it's been such a success to even a point where that I don't do the feeding program myself, because I used to do it myself. It was just me and my house mother, to a point where they've taken over and they're going to the villages and to the slums and identifying. And every Saturday they commit to come in here. So that has been great. That is a highlight that even I can't explain. And aside from that, we have days that we have a whole day of worship. Like they just come, because I always tell them that even them, no matter what they're going through, we cannot all heal ourselves, because God above everything.
I have interacted with different individuals and you know, different vision bearers like you who started initiatives like this one, and some of them have shared challenges, unsurmountable challenges that they go through each and every day in their work as they serve the community. So kindly, do you mind sharing with us some of the challenges that you encounter in your work, and probably also share with us how you are able to maneuver through some of those challenges?
Our biggest challenge for me is finances, yes? I feed in 25 people. Now we are at 100 people. It's tough. I seriously find me using my personal own savings most of the time. So what I did, I decided to like have a budget, like make sure that at the shelter there is food. Like on vegetables and food, we do have a farm. We are farming vegetables, and now with the rains, we just started doing beans and maize and waweru. So food for the shelter, we're trying to be sustainable. And then we make soap. The proceeds from the soap, this is what we have for breakfast. Because people don't know breakfast is expensive, Jesus. So now when we do sales for the soap, we've empowered these women to know this is their chores. This is where your breakfast is coming from. So it also keeps them on their toes, yes? So they make, I find the market. And then long-term goals that we have, we want to do a huge poultry farming for eggs and also for kienyeji chicken. And also want to do pig farming as well. And large-scale farming for vegetables so that we can send out there. Our idea, or my idea, is to how I want to involve even the local businesses around. Because I've approached so many companies and I want us to be there, part of CSR. So my approach would be with markets within. The eggs that we get from our poultry farming, if they can buy from us, that can be part of them giving back to us. So if they just give us a market for that, that would be something. Even the vegetables that we have, local organizations around, if they can just buy from us, that would be them giving back. And then it will be an all-rounded community that's working together to empower people. So funding and trying to find food donations, that has been a challenge, but we keep pushing. Another challenge is when you get a girl who's been abused and you want to do more. But then again, you feel limited because of the bureaucracy and because of certain offices, and there's only so much that you can do. So that has been a challenge. I've had a guy threaten my life. He found out where I worked. He found out what car I drove. So that was pretty scary, but I had the police handle that. So those are the challenges we've had. We also had challenges where if you rescue like a minor, like a 17-year-old who's been abused by the parent, the father is threatening you of kidnapping their children. Also trying to transform these women to like believing in themselves. It's been a challenge because most women have lost their self-esteem to a point where that even when you tell them they're great, they don't see it. And I'm scared of sending them back into the society when they have not believed in themselves. So we shall overcome because there's no any other way. The only way is up, man. The only way is up in doing what we do. But the good thing is that if you work very well with departments that support children, that support gender, you have your paperwork right for the people that you're trying to help and rescue. So that is key to avoid all these kind of things happening around. So that's how we managed to maneuver through the threats around. When I started this, I had to visit the local police stations, right? Mm-hmm. and involve them or make them aware of what I do. And that is why I always tell people that if you're coming to the shelter, if you want to be rescued at the shelter, it is always good to pass by the gender office and report that you're coming to Eneza Imani for just in case something happens, okay? So there is that part where working well with the police and always having them updated on what we are doing has helped us a lot. And if you continue involving God, I know we're going to make a huge change. There was a young girl I was walking the journey with, right? Supported this young person. And then fame is a bad thing, eh? Fame is a really bad thing, and I seriously don't want to be famous. That is not the point. So this young person I was working with, so see, I've told you I have a group of AYPs. So this was one of the person that I actually wanted to walk this journey with, because from the hospital aspect, orphan, all that, the whole, I wanted to change the life of this young girl, and I hope I hope I did impact her in the right way. But these are people when they get to a point where you introduce them, because what my weakness actually is, me, I don't know how to pretend. The way you see me is the way you see me. There is no other, this is it. So I give my all. I'm out there with everything I have. Everything flows good. Everything is out there. Yes? So this is the way I am. So unfortunately, it's good, and it has its good side and the bad side. So this guy had to a point of even hosting her in my house, because I was seeing the best. So this person introduced her to people that I work with, people who want to volunteer with me. And then this young person goes around, she's out there using our name, Eneza Imani, and she's there introducing me as the person working for her, which is okay. I'm not for Uko shouting, I'm the director, I own this place. No. That, for me, that has no, I don't mind. But the fact that you're making transactions with my name and claiming that this is the amount that you need to pay Mercy for this, and I'm like, I'm confused. Why are you making such transactions? Why are we being paid? What did we do? Or what is happening? Okay? So such things. It did make me learn. We can't work with everyone. You have people that I work with, people that I involve in work, that like the technical group that I've selected. We're in unison that what the goal is. I always tell them that we're not doing this for me or for ourselves. Me, I'm into giving back. Me, I'm into service to mankind. So if you're not like that, this is not your space. You get? I always tell them, because I always tell them that even the food that we donate to people, even the food that we eat, it's the same thing I'll eat in my house. So there's no difference. There's no that we're making food for the poor and then we make ourselves a special plate. The same food, the way I make my own pilau in my house, the same way I make for the people that we feed. So that has to be understood. Because once you start making that people feel like they are superior than others, we lose it, man. Even the team that I have, like I sat with them down and I told them there is no chairperson or chairlady or anyone. All of you can do what a chairlady can do. All of you can do what a secretary can do. So we'll be rotating these roles. So one day you'll be the secretary, because even when you want to do a CV and you want us to do a reference letter for you, I want to write and say that you are an all-rounded person. You're just not a one person. So yes, backstabbing has been there. What did I learn from it? I learned that I need to make sure what my goals and what my mission is into this program. That is, we are service to mankind. We're trying to make lives better for people and for ourselves as well. And no one is above the other, not even me. So biggest lesson, this is my calling. Be patient, and being humble is key.
A number of people out there, me included, have started projects or have started initiatives like this because we want to create change in the community, because we want to make a difference. And it's not because we have so much to give, but it's because we have realized that there is a need for us to address, that there is a challenge in our communities, in our spaces that we want to address. But most of these startups don't last long. Along the way, people just give up. They just give up because it's too much, because maybe that's not their calling, or they just give up because they do not have the resources that they require to be able to carry out their objectives. What will you say, or what will you tell to that individual or to that organization that's trying to bring about change in their communities?
Organizations that are doing the same work like I'm doing, those that are authentic, what I would want to do is just give them a virtual hug. Todoma, just to give them a virtual hug, because it's not easy. It's not easy work, and I think that anyone in this space of work, God has put something in them that's different, because it's really not easy, man. Because it's a space where whatever you as a person is going through has to be put aside for you to like cater, because the amount of SMSs and requests and phone calls we get to rescue people, it's an everyday thing, man. There's so many people who need rescue. There's so many people who need safe spaces, and sometimes when as an organization you have a case and you're like you want to do more but you can't and you're limited, that breaks you. So what I can tell people in my space, man, is to a virtue hug, man. A virtue hug, and to keep up and to put God first, and whatever we are doing makes a huge difference. Do not feel discouraged and don't feel despaired. As in, whatever you're doing you're doing something good. Even if it's, no matter how small it might seem, you're doing something. You really are doing something. Even if you impact 2-3 lives in a month or 4, man, that is huge in itself. Because this person, I'm very sure they'll pass it forward. As much as you don't know, when you impact these people, I hear people, when you change someone's life, when you do something good for someone, they always remember you, not to come back and say thank you to you, but in the future when they meet someone in their life, they will pay it forward. So that is all I would ask for the people who go through organizations to pay it forward. But again, for the people in the space, what you hug, man.
If anyone would be interested to support your work or come in as a volunteer and support you in what you're doing, how will they connect with you? Maybe you could share your social platforms or your contacts, or is there a way that they could send in their support?
We are on social media. Our social media platforms are Eneza Imani community on Facebook. We have Eneza Imani on Instagram, and then Eneza Imani on Twitter as well. So you can reach us on those social media platforms. And also my phone number is on 24 hours. So it's 0720-654-600. And we have a pay bill. See it down the screen. A pay bill where you can donate. The account is Eneza Imani Community. Any person who would want to volunteer, they're welcome. So soon our site is going to be up. It's under maintenance right now. And then I want to do a collaboration with so many organizations like the Kiambu Sex Workers Association, right? So I'd want to work with them so that I can, because a lot of sex workers are being abused and they have nowhere to go, okay? So I'd want to open a holistic clinic and also get more space so that I can rescue more people. And also enroll as many teen moms into school and into courses, technical courses or anything that will empower them.
What will be your last remarks as we end up this conversation? What will you want the world to know?
Be kind. Extend grace. People are going through a lot. Those will be my final words. And join Eneza Imani, let's make a difference. Come support. You don't have to have a lot to help. If you decide to give someone something, give them, because you do not know that how much that quarter of kg of sugar that you shared will do to this person. You get? So be kind and extend grace.
Mercy has reminded us that kindness doesn't have to be costly. That kindness is what we all need. That kindness is what we need to heal the world. So wherever you are, with whatever you have, no matter how insignificant you think it is, always remember to extend kindness. Well, we've come to the end of this conversation with Mercy Waweru, and it's such a joy to see people like Mercy using the resources they have, the spaces they have, to incorporate every member of the community to collaborate and work together to bring about change. Thank you for watching Terry's View. Please, if you've not subscribed, please subscribe, and please share this video with someone out there. They might be inspired to start creating change in their community. Bye-bye.